Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome back to Bendy Goals. And week 5 sucks. And I'll explain why. I started off week 5 with watching the video beforehand to see what I was getting myself into, and I knew right before I even started that it was going to be a tough week. And I was 100% correct. Week 5 is by far the hardest one that I have experienced thus far for total body challenge. And I didn't actually complete week 5. I went out of town last Saturday and decided to finish packing and whatever to get ready instead of finishing out day 3 before we left. When we came back, I didn't have the energy to complete day 3, so I just made the executive decision to redo week 5. Every step of the way, week 5 was hard. And with doing it a second time, it's such a good workout, just the 15 minutes, that I almost feel too tired. By almost, I mean like that much. Like, I'm this close to being too tired to do round 2. I was able to do the first time around on day 2 the 2 rounds. I didn't feel like I got as much out of the second round as I did the first, because I was slowing down and I was too tired, and it felt like I was just not keeping up with Zoe good enough, and was concerned, like, how am I supposed to do the third round on day 3 if I can't even really do the second round on day 2? And I luckily didn't have to figure it out the first time around. But I made the executive decision, as I already said, to do it again. Since if I didn't finish week 5 the first time, if I moved on to week 6, it was just going to be as tough or even tougher. So I'd just be setting myself up for failure for being, I don't want to do day 3. I don't want to redo this. And what I got from the one yoga instructor I have had is that the poses you don't want to do and the poses that are too hard are the ones that your body needs the most. So I put my big girl panties on and I forced myself to do week 5 again. Since Labor Day screwed up my schedule, I haven't done day 3 yet. Day 3 is on the schedule for tomorrow. So I'll be finishing out week 5 tomorrow, which is why this isn't my accountability for finishing halfway on month 2. That will be next week, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, just, I guess, keeping myself accountable and telling everybody that I didn't do week 5 like I should have. And so I put myself through it again. I'm proud of myself for that. I'm proud of myself for, instead of just moving on and I don't want to do this again because I didn't like it and it wasn't any fun, that I forced myself to do it again. Because I need to get as much out of this week as I possibly can. Since it sucked so much, that means I needed it. And it was important for my journey throughout this challenge. And that doesn't seem like much of an update that warranted a video, but I also had a lovely lady, Miss Megan, in the comments who asked me a question. And it was about which move or pose is the most challenging in the YogaBURN workouts. And since each week builds upon itself, each week has its own set of new poses, new challenges, and new things to learn. So there isn't just one overall pose that has been the hardest. There has, however, been one pose in each week that I've measured as being the hardest. So instead of just answering your question with just one pose, I will demonstrate the hardest or most challenging pose from each week that I've completed so far. So this will not include anything from week 5, week 5 6. That will be another time. If you guys even like this little segment, before I get started, I guess let me know in the comments below after I'm finished with this if it's something that at all interests you, and I will make it a thing. So at the end of each month, I'll do another "this is the hardest pose that I came across in each week for that month" kind of thing. If you don't like it, then I won't make it a thing. Won't waste your time that way. Won't waste my time that way. I just thought that it might be, nicer if I dove right in and gave you a real answer. So there's a limit to the angles that I got with my phone. And so I'll do my best here. But with week 1, the hardest pose that I came across when working through the 15 minutes was holding a goddess squat while doing the arm workouts that she was having us do. So let me stand up and I'll demonstrate a goddess squat for you guys. I'm not sure if you can see my head, but that's irrelevant. Goddess squat is really just standing pretty far apart and squatting down as low as you can go, and holding this while she walks you through the different arm movements and stuff that she wants you to do. And the arm movements weren't the problem. It was trying to hold this squat while doing it at the same time. There were several times that I had to stand back up, kind of relax, and then squat right back down. And I find it a lot easier now that I've had a couple more weeks under my belt. So let me sit down and we'll move on to week 2. Week 2 involves what is called locust pose, or Superman pose, for those of you who had to do something similar to that in PE class. So you lay down flat on your stomach, arms back, and you have to use your glutes and your core muscles to pull your chest up, your legs up, your arms up. But of course, since we're dealing with a resistance band, this little fella is around your ankles. So let me show you why I didn't like it very much, and it was a bit of a challenge. So let me get into locust pose. I hope you can see me. This is weird. I'm sorry. So from locust, see your feet, then to pull your feet apart. And of course she counts really slow. So this was a huge pain in the butt. I'll make myself laugh. Alright. I'm not funny. I think I'm funny. Anyway. Week 3. We had Warrior 3 pose. And she calls it handcuffs because we're putting the band on our wrists but behind our back. So Warrior 3 is you stand straight up, put one foot slightly back, and then as you tilt forward, your leg goes up with you. So you're like a T pose, like the thumbnail from my previous video. That's Warrior 3. Warrior 3 wasn't fun because having to hold that, balance myself with my hands, the things that I usually use to balance myself out behind me, was a struggle. And then having to move my hands around with this made it even harder. So I'm going to stand up, and I hope that you can be able to see this. I'll try my best to show you the suckiness of Warrior 3. Going into Warrior 3, so we're balancing. Hopefully you can see me. Hands behind your back like this, and she would have us like stretch out the band and then move your arms around and stuff, and it just, at first it's fine. bit wobbly. At first it's fine, but then having to continuously hold yourself up just on this leg alone, you grow to realize that you're fucking heavy and bad on balance, evidently. So that's what I meant by working on balance. Has been a big struggle for me because I'm heavy and it's hard to keep myself up while balancing on one foot at the same time. So that was the most challenging thing from week 3. And week 4, I've discovered, was just a combination of all the things that you learned throughout the first 3 weeks. So it's kind of like a review. So in my opinion, week 4 was the easiest of the bunch, since it was just reviewing all the stuff that we've already done before, which is fine. There was a couple core exercises at the end. I don't have much of a core, but it's not like the trim core challenge, that's it, where the entire workout is working on core work. So instead of doing one for week 4, I'll also demonstrate something else from week 3 that fires up your glutes and uses the strength of your shoulders to hold yourself up. With doing it by itself, it's not that bad. But where it fits in the workout, you're already starting to sweat and you're a little tired and your shoulders are a little sore from doing all the arm workouts and stuff, so your body's tired. And trying to hold yourself up and do this next pose I'm going to talk about is a pain in the butt, which is why week 5 sucks. But this one she calls fire hydrant. And you're on all fours, although instead of having straight arms, you're on your forearms. And you've got the band around your knees, and you're using your knees to anchor the band to the floor. And you shift the band up a little bit off of your knee, and of course fire hydrant, dog, you're moving your leg out. So let me get situated in fire hydrant and I'll show you what I mean. Band is around the knees. Move it slightly above the knee on the leg that we're going to be moving. Move down your forearms. And like a dog, hiking it up. And sometimes that gets to be a pain in the ass because the band does like to move around. And occasionally, if it's not sitting in the same spot where I want it, it'll pinch, kind of hurt a little bit, or it doesn't feel as taut as it was before. So, band struggles. But I'm sure there was ways to make that a little bit more interesting. The thought viewed better in my mind. I've got no idea how this is going to look to you guys. Sorry if this is a little boring. Anyway, that's all I've got for you this week. Tried to make this short and sweet. Again, if you liked that segment, it gives you a little bit of a look into the YogaBURN workouts, since I'm not really doing a review or look, I can do this better like I was doing with Beyond Flexibility. This is more of a vlog. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week for my accountability for month 2. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye, guys.